Hey everyone, this is the Bearded Xeno with,
Surprisingly,
and this is going to be our little recap and thoughts on Telltale's The Walking Dead, Season 2, Episode 2, A House Divided.
Yeah. So what'd you think about it? What score would you give it?
I'd have to say probably a 9-2.
Yeah, I was gonna say a 9. I really liked it.
Definitely one of the best episodes that they produced.
Yeah, one of my favorites of all of them. The first season too.
Oh yeah.
I'd say the only one that beats it is episode 3.
Yeah,
For
they're,
me.
they're pretty close for me. Because
Yeah.
I like episode 3 because of all the shit that happens in it.
Yeah.
Which a lot of shit happened in this one too.
That's why I like this one. Just so much happens in what's really just an hour and a half episode. I kept wondering when it was gonna end because I'm thinking not all this can happen in one episode. This is so much. But I loved it. We'll start off. Well, the first thing that happens in the episode is you see the results of whatever pick you had from the end of the first episode. Like in my case, I chose to save Pete, and you chose to save Nick, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Pete had a bite, and I didn't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah, but I hated Nick, and I liked Pete, and I'd rather deal with Pete than a bite than Nick alive. Was my logic behind it. So tell us what happens when you choose Nick.
When you choose Nick, you go off running, and you hide in the little shed, and you pin yourselves in there. He finds moonshine, and he starts getting drunk, and he gets drunk off his ass, and Clementine has to go out on her own to go back to the farmhouse.
Wow. Is that it?
Yeah.
Well, when you choose Pete, I think you end up in like a bus or something.
What?
Yeah, some kind of vehicle, because I remember I had to walk around, there's keys in there, and it won't start. And Pete, he knows he's done for. He knows he's been bitten. There's actually a hacksaw on the bus, and he starts to try to cut his leg off, but he just doesn't have the guts to do it. And it's interesting because I had in my backpack a bottle of water, and since in my file, when I chose to give the guy water at the end of season 1, the guy was dying, I didn't have any for Pete. So that one decision carried over.
See, I didn't give any to that guy whatsoever.
Yeah.
But that decision didn't really matter for me.
In episode 1, I gave him water because I thought it'd let him talk more. I thought he'd say something about Krista. That's cool because I gave him water. I didn't have any for Pete. And so then you end up talking about, depressing stuff. He knows he's going to die. And then I think you both go to sleep because you're surrounded by walkers in this bus. I guess they just got tired and passed out. And then when you wake up, Pete looks a lot like Lee did at the end of season 1, just really gray, just on the verge of turning. And then you both run out, and he pretty much sacrifices himself so Clementine can get away.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty different too.
Oh
so
yeah,
I like that.
Nick just gets drunk off his ass, and you have to fight walkers on your own, which I failed the quick time event twice.
Really?
Because the game was so glitchy.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't get the right stick over, and when it would pop over too far.
We'll talk about that more with the bridge scene. All right, and then you go back to your house, and then everyone leaves. And oh my God, Sarah is so annoying.
Creepy bitch.
She is the duck of season 2 for an annoying child character. You walk in and she takes a picture of you. Oh my God.
Fucking gun.
Yeah,
it's
she
the
points a gun at you. How stupid. Well, it's not really her fault, because her dad Carlos is hiding her from how bad the world really is.
Yeah.
So it's not entirely her fault. And then you hear them talk about this guy Carver in the first episode, and you wonder, who he is, what he's all about. And I figured out pretty early on the guy who comes and pretty much invades your house was Carver. How'd you like this scene?
That was really fucking tense and genius.
Loved it. Super tense. And I like how you slowly figure out the people he's looking for, the people you're with, too. And
just break my pen.
No. But that's really tense. And, the knife thing, you keep glancing at the knife. And
so you went for it.
Yeah, I went for the knife. And he just beats you to it.
See, I was just sitting there, and he just casually just jerks over and gets it. Where's this go?
Yeah.
I just looked at him like a boss. Over there.
Yeah. And then it actually still works because he actually makes you question whether or not you can trust these people, because he makes it sound like like they betrayed him and that you can't trust them.
Yeah.
And he even asks you, what do they do when you first met them? And I told him, I straight up told him, they put me in a shed. Is that what you did?
Said they helped me.
Oh.
Then it's like, did they trust you? I was like, Pete did.
Yeah.
He's like, sure he did.
I told them pretty much no one trusted me, and they put me in a shed. So I told them the truth. Yeah, you're pretty lucky he actually leaves without hurting Clementine. So
yeah,
I like that. I was
almost gets Sarah though, because she's on the damn bed.
Yeah.
And he finds the picture. It's like, who's this?
Yeah, that's good. But then he leaves, and the others come back, and you tell them who broke in, and they all freak out, and you decide to leave. Now, what happens in your file when you go back to where Nick was?
You go back, you hear him groaning, and you kill all the walkers outside, but he's just there drunk with a hungover.
Really?
Yeah, well, hangover, not hungover.
Yeah. And that's it? Then you keep
that's
walking?
It. Then he gets up like immediately, he's perfectly fine, and you continue walking.
Wow, okay. Well, in my file, you go back to the bus thing where you try to find Pete, and they can't find him, and they keep walking around, and they find him several yards away where his entrails are hanging out, and they figure out that he was killed by bullet wounds by other people and then torn apart by walkers.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, that really is different, whether or not you choose Pete or Nick in episode 1.
So that almost necessitates an entire playthrough, but I don't want to deal with the dog again.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'll play through episode 2 as much as I want to. I will not play through episode 1 ever again. Nope.
Yeah. And then you go off to, I think you just say you head north. And then they actually say it'll take 5 days to get somewhere, and it just says 5 days later.
Yeah.
I'm glad they do that instead of coming up with a bunch of stupid filler stuff. And then you come across the bridge, and you have the whole bridge scene.
Oh, wait. Whenever you're sitting there, and Nick, not Nick, what's the other guy's name? Luke.
Yeah.
Luke. Luke says, you get the small one, I get the big one. Did you say I get the big one?
No, I said I get this.
I did.
What happens there?
I was like, I'll take the big one. He's like, no, you don't. He just rushes out and takes the big one.
Really?
The small one.
I just wanted to comply with him. I told him I get the small one. And I
Like,
think he says, like, good choice or something.
I was just trying to take command as Clementine. I was like, yeah,
really?
I'll take the big one. And of course, your hammer gets fucking stuck.
Oh, yeah, that happens. And you have that cool... I like the new cool QuickTime events where it has, like, the brackets around the hand and you have to tap the button.
So those are pretty much taken from Wolf Among Us.
Oh, really? That makes sense then. Yeah, and then you try to walk across the bridge, and that's when the whole... See, we played this sequence many times of Luke falling down and you having to try to pick him up. Oh,
glitchiest fucking part in the game.
The first time I played it, it gives you like 3 whole seconds to hit the left stick to avoid the walker coming at you. I kept doing it, and it wouldn't register, and the walker like tackles me, and we both fall off the bridge. And since I was so confident I hit the button, I thought that's what was supposed to happen in the story, and my jaw dropped thinking that was just what's going to happen. But no, it gives me a game over, and it makes you do the entire bridge sequence all over again. If you mess up.
From the beginning.
If you mess up. So yeah, that was pretty quick.
I messed up when you were on the outside of it. I did this twice, by the way, where you had to push down when the walkers come in between the railings.
Yeah, oh.
It just doesn't register.
I think I messed up there too. Yeah. Yeah, that took a few tries, but I'm still pretty tense too.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if Luke was going to make it out of that.
It's like, is it going to glitch out again? It's like, can I beat this?
It's pretty sad if that's the tension in your game. The controls work this time.
Well, it's not the glitchiest Walking Dead game. Survival instinct.
God, no. Not even the glitchiest episode.
Oh, God.
Really,
What was the glitchiest episode?
Well, I know in episode 3, I know my file, and then when I watched SSOH PKC play, and you know Chuck, he plays guitar. In some scenes, his guitar will be missing, and it'll just be air guitaring. I've seen those glitches. In episode 1 of season 2, when you're talking to Sarah in her room, Luke's character model pops up between you and Sarah, and you're just He's standing right between you. And I was confused, like, is he here? What is he doing? Why is he not talking to us? And it was just a glitch. Did I ever tell you about that?
Yeah, I think you told me about that. That's so funny.
Just random glitch like that. But and then you keep going on the glitch. I mean, you keep going on the bridge.
Glitch bridge.
Yeah, the glitch bridge. And then you see someone with the gun come up. And it's funny, because he was Asian, we both thought it was Vince from 400 Days.
I thought it was either him or Glenn coming back.
I thought it was Glenn, too, because I know you're supposed to meet someone that you knew in Season 1. And I thought it was Glenn, too, at first, because he was Asian, but then I figured out it wasn't Glenn.
Yeah, more on that in a second.
Yeah. So then Nick kills him for
just
some
like
stupid reason.
out of nowhere, just headshot, falls over the damn thing.
Yeah. And then you go on and... If he lived in the lodge, why did he even have that... Why did he have a bed and all that in that little house thing?
So people wouldn't know that the lodge was there and had all the food supplies.
Oh, that's a good
so
point.
they wouldn't raid it.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
a good
saying,
point.
I'm just a humble dude here with a couple cans of food. You can take what you want and just don't fuck with me.
I never thought about that. That's a good point.
I guarantee they probably all just like switched watch too. It was just his day to watch that little thing.
Wow, probably.
See, I got all my survival plans for the zombie apocalypse in my head.
Great. And then you go in and it took me forever to figure out you're supposed to use the knife to undo the... I walked around so much. And you wanted to complain about Alvin here?
Oh yeah, you get 2 cans of food, right? Alvin comes in, and he asks you to take some of the food. That's not what I'm complaining about. What I'm complaining about is you look out the window after you either don't give him the food or do give him the food. I did. And you see a bunch of walkers running, just coming across the bridge, right?
Yeah.
And you come running out, and it's like, walkers on the bridge! And then, like, Luke and Nick were both just like, I know. And they just walked. They just walked! The calmest fucking walk ever. And then it just, like, cut to a jarring, like, run. Like, no.
Wow. that was weird. And then you notice he has peaches in that room. That's your first hint when you get to the lodge that they were connected.
Peaches!
They had, well, it's Georgia. It makes sense. And then you keep going, and it basically skips to where you find the lodge. And then your plane's Clementine, and you walk up, and you see lights. You see people with flashlights that it looks like have been following you. And then you hear commotion down at the entrance of the lodge, and you find a group of people, including Kenny.
Fucking I knew he was alive. Yeah. I knew it.
I feel like we said, maybe in a recap from last year, that we thought he was still alive. Maybe like our first Walking Dead thing.
Probably
did. Yeah, I'm glad we were right.
It's like, I knew there was a way he could have survived that, because you didn't see him die.
Yeah, you don't. That's in Walking Dead, if you don't see them die, you have good reason to doubt they actually died. Because they've done that so many times in the comic and the show.
Yeah. You knew Ben died because he shot him and put him out of his misery, but other than that...
Yeah. Oh, another thing that happens around this time, about the time of the bridge. If I'm right, when you're alone with Nick at the very beginning of this episode, he tells you that his mom died, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't choose Nick, if you talk to him outside of Matthew's little house thing, he'll tell you all that anyway. So you still get that information, just at a different point of the episode.
Okay.
So I just letting you know, you still get the same. You didn't miss out on anything, any important information at least, if you chose Pete instead of Nick.
Can Nick die in this episode? Because there was a thing called, it said like this shows Nick's fate, and
I'm not sure. I mean, we might have to look that up.
Because I don't know. We'll get to that in a second. What we're talking about,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I just a random thought.
Yeah, but after you find Kenny at the lodge, you're super happy, and you walk around, and there's just all this lodge drama. I remember you go to the Christmas tree, and you talk to Sarah, and
Christmas duck.
Yeah, Christmas duck. What's Kenny's girlfriend's name?
Oh, God. Carlita? I don't know.
Maybe. It's something like that.
Random Mexican chick. What's up with Kenny? He had a Russian bitch, and now he's got a Mexican girl.
I totally thought about that. And then you have, I remember you have this random decision to where you sit with Luke or sit with Kenny, like the dinner table. And I chose to sit with Luke.
I chose Kenny because, you
Yeah.
know, old familiar face. I don't even know these people, really.
Yeah. But you're more connected to Luke than anybody at that point.
Yeah.
What happened after you sat with Kenny? Did Luke come over and sit anyway?
Did Kenny talk about Duck?
Yeah.
Okay.
I talked to him about all that and like how we got out. And
yeah.
But if you sit with Luke, Kenny just comes over and starts a conversation anyway. And everyone starts fighting for some reason. I don't even remember why. Just Nick. He was just being argumentative about everything.
I was like, Kenny made a comment like they'd make a good couple. And so
yeah.
That's what set him off.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, after that random drama, you see, they go outside and having a conversation. Is it before or after you're talking to Luke about they figure out that Matthew is the guy Nick shot?
That is after.
After
wait,
Bonnie?
No. Wait, no. Bonnie is before that.
Okay. Well, then you're outside and you see Bonnie from 400 Days, you know, the crackhead you play as.
Yeah.
You see her peeking in. And it's interesting. I actually trusted her because it's a character we know from a game we've already played.
Yeah.
I really did think, when she said the others, I thought she was with camp with the other people for 400 Days. And
what if she is, though? What if they're all with Carver?
I don't know. No. Maybe, because wherever he takes them, I'm sure that's like his base.
Yeah, it's like...
Wherever you see in the preview for episode 3.
It looks like a mall.
Okay. At first I thought everyone who was with them would come with them to the, tracking them down. But I guess maybe not. But yeah, maybe that's how we'll meet up with everyone else. Yeah, I trusted her at first because we knew her. And you said you never trusted her from the beginning?
No, I could just tell the way she was carrying herself.
Yeah.
There's something was up.
Well, see, she's a recovering crack addict. You can't trust how they carry themselves. I mean, it's pretty much messed up for life. So, that's how I thought of it.
Yeah. Of course, she's also a confirmed killer because...
Yeah,
days.
Yeah.
Of course, that was an accident, but, once you get the taste of blood...
Yeah. Then you just want to go on to the windmill scene.
Yeah, the windmill, that was pretty fun.
That was really interesting. I never thought about that, how a windmill and like a storm would attract walkers.
Yeah.
But it did.
Fucking fully automatic AK-47s and shit.
Oh yeah, what, Carver's guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a pretty tense scene. I like these kind of action scenes where you're like running around and avoiding walkers and shooting them. I like those parts of the Walking Dead game. So that was pretty cool for me.
The worst part's when you're walking around dealing with drama. That is also at its best when you're dealing with drama.
Yeah. So yeah, then when you think you're about to all die, that's when Carver's people come with their AK-47s
Yeah.
or whatever, just mow all of them down. Then you realize you're screwed.
Yeah, it's like, oh, these are the fucking people who are trying to hunt us down.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even touch upon the Matthews storyline.
Oh, well, I just forget it wasn't too big of a deal because the only guy who cared, he was this guy named Walt's best friend, and he's with Kenny's group.
Yeah.
And
Because Nick's the one who killed him.
Yeah, and they have to hide that.
Yeah,
He finds out anyway.
See, I straight up told him.
I tried to hide it for a while.
See, I told Nick.
He finds out either way.
And Nick straight up told him.
Oh, wow.
Confronted him. And he forgave Nick.
Yeah, he still forgives Nick.
He's like, okay,
That's
I understand
crazy.
why you did this. He had a chance to actually shoot him. I think if you were to be an asshole to Nick, that he would be an asshole too.
Mm-hmm.
And that would actually get him killed there. I think.
Maybe. We need to look. It'll be on the Walking Dead wiki.
Yeah.
But I'll look that up. Could be. Yeah, he ended up finding everything out anyway. I think he still ends up confessing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was interesting. The only reason it's not a big deal because, his fault doesn't matter for long anyway.
I think he dies either way.
Yeah.
But that was still a tense scene. Just like, oh my god, is he gonna fucking kill Nick?
Yeah, I would kill Nick. I mean, any normal person, if this guy's forgiven the zombie apocalypse, he must have been a saint in, his regular life.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Now back to after the windmill scene. Carver takes everyone hostage. Most everyone, yeah.
Whatever her name's baby is Carver's.
Yeah, I figured that out pretty early on in this episode.
Yeah.
I was really wondering who else it could be at the end in episode 1, and I thought it had to be someone else with their group. But I didn't think about it being
somebody who was in their group.
Yeah. So yeah, it's another tense scene because he takes Carlos first and he just breaks his fingers one by one, making his daughter watch, and she's screaming the whole time.
Didn't you say Alvin died for you?
Yeah.
He's still alive for me.
I can't remember how that happens. I think I remember now because Clementine doesn't get taken hostage at first. She runs up upstairs, and you're with Rebecca, the pregnant woman, and Alvin.
Yeah, that's where I was at.
I talked them. They're about to kill Carlos, so I talked them into giving themselves up and going back downstairs, so you won't kill Carlos.
See,
that's what I did.
When I was playing as Clementine, I just stood up and said, "No, stop."
Oh, I guess the same outcome then. But I don't know
when
what
you
the
go down
difference
there,
is.
I don't know how Alvin got. Maybe it's because I didn't break and go run to get Kenny. Did you go and get Kenny, or did you sit there?
I think I sat there. I don't remember.
How the fuck did Alvin die then? Because he's alive on mine.
That's weird because, he kills Walt. I think he kills Walt first. And then he takes Alvin. Oh, I remember how. I mean, it's not maybe it, but he's taking Alvin hostage and Kenny shoots Carver in the shoulder.
Oh, yeah, that did not happen.
Really?
That did.
Kenny
walks in and gives himself up. Just straight up gives himself up. That's it.
Well, that's what happens after he kills Alvin. Oh. You didn't see this then. Okay, this is what happens in mine. He's about to kill Alvin, and Kenny shoots Carver in the shoulder. And then after he recovers, he shoots Alan anyway. Then he takes Kenny's new girlfriend and holds her hostage. And that's what makes Kenny give up in my file.
Kenny he literally just, because Clementine is
yeah.
She screams, "Kenny, give up."
Oh, okay. So you didn't see him take his girlfriend hostage at all?
No.
That's what made him give up in mine.
Okay.
That's pretty interesting, the difference.
Because I think it's because I built up more trust with Kenny, too, because I sided with him at the table and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Every time that somebody was in an argument with him, I sided with him. And I just straight up to Kenny, give yourself up, please. And because on the same file that I'm running with, Lee and Kenny had a pretty good relationship.
See, that's why mine's opposite. I never cared much for Kenny. And the file mine's running on, Lee was a douche to Kenny in season 1. So Lee and Clementine just didn't have a great relationship with him in the first place in season 1, so that made sense with mine.
Yeah. So see, for me, it's just like she's seeing an old friend.
Yeah. Oh, it was still old friend, but I don't know. I just didn't care much about that. Then yeah, after a couple people die, that's after all this action. That's the end of the episode. You see a little preview for the next one where he takes you, I guess it's back to a mall. I guess their mall is their base.
Yep. It reminds me of The Last of Us. Yeah. I burped. Nope. Not stated.
Why? Yeah, that's the end of the episode. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's about it. It was pretty good. We already gave our scores. 9.2 from me, 9 from him. So.
I wish the rest of the episodes of season 2 were as good as this. That'll be a great season.
Dude, you gotta check out Wolf Among Us. I
should.
That is a great Telltale series. What you need to do is just buy the first episode, buy the season pass. That way you get a free episode. Just wait till it's all over.
Okay.
Do that. Or just wait till they're all out on a disc, because they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
But I like the story in it better than Walking Dead. Of course, the drama and everything is kind of better in Walking Dead, but the overall arcing story is just far more interesting in Wolf Among Us.
Let's go. I gotta check that out then.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm done. I'm done, guys.
All right. Only other news I could think of is probably come back after the end of Walking Dead season 4 of the show and do a little recap of the last half of season 4.
And whatever the fuck episode 3 is.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't take them another 3 months to make another episode. We'll see you then.